Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Ty Dinelli from riskengineeringmusic.com checking into you today with another episode. And today we are talking about 10 different things that you can do as an engineer if you're just kind of starting out, or maybe you've got a bit of experience already, but you're trying to just improve yourself, improve your business, improve clients coming in, all that kind of stuff. So let's just jump right into it. I don't want to waste any time. Here are 10 different things that you can do this very day. Let's get into it. All right, so number one, and this just seems obvious, and it kind of is, to be honest, but it's practice. Practice, and more practice. The more time you put into yourself and your craft, obviously the better you're going to be as an engineer over time. And this isn't going to happen within a week. It might not happen within a month. It might not happen within years. You don't really know. It's just about how much time you put into yourself, making yourself better, training your ears, studying things, knowing everything there is to know about engineering. All that kind of stuff is super important, and it sounds cliche, but it is true that practice makes perfect. So just put the time in to become better at what you're doing. Number two, study undeniably great mixed songs or albums. Now, these can be things in all different genres. Don't just stick to the genre that you kind of work on the most. Step out of your comfort zone, listen to other things, listen to older things, listen to new things. It doesn't really matter. Just study songs that are undeniably mixed to perfection. Now, some of the albums I would include in that would be The Chronic 2001 by Dr. Dre. To me, that is an album that still holds up to this time of being just a sonically incredible record. From the drums to the bass to the different instruments to the vocals, the way that they were sitting in the mixes just sound insane to me. I don't know how Dre does that or who he has on his team, but man, his sound on that album was insane. Other albums, if we're gonna go a completely different style, I would throw in Steely Dan's Asia album. Trust me, go and listen to it because it is one of the most flawlessly mixed albums you'll ever listen to. And other singles as well. If there's a song out there that you just think is mixed incredibly, study it. Study why it's good. What is going on in the mixing stage? What's going on in the mastering? Why do the drums hit a certain way? Why is the bass sitting like this? How are the vocals mixed? Study all those little things and just honestly, these days, there's so much you can find on YouTube and just the internet in general. Number three, networking, in person and on social media. Don't forget both of those. Just because we're in an era today of where social media is kind of like the main drive behind a lot of stuff, don't think that networking in person isn't as important. Because there was a lot of times where I just was in the right venue at the right time or in the right spot or concert or whatever, where I met a pile of new clients. So being in person and shaking those hands compared to just reaching out to people on social media can be a direct link to gaining new clients, because there's something about that interaction when it's in person where you can show yourself more, you can show your personality, you can explain things better. Sometimes people don't want to hear things on social media, but when you're doing it in front of them, that is where you can really grasp someone's attention or just put them on to you or what you can provide them as an artist, right? So being in person and making those connections and just doing stuff on social media where you're showing yourself, showing what you can provide, reaching out to artists that you want to work with or potential artists, and just marketing yourself in a certain way where your network can increase. All these things are super important, so don't slack on either one of those networking opportunities. Number four, work with artists that can help you to help them, and vice versa, if that makes sense. What I mean by that is pick an artist that you might really like or you might be really into, and they might be on a similar level as you experience-wise. Like maybe they're not the best in the world, but you can see the potential in them. Reach out to them, or maybe it's a friend of yours or anything like that, where you can work with them maybe for free, or maybe you charge them a little bit just to cover the basics. But I think working with somebody like that where you can build experience off of them and they can build experience off of you and you guys can grow together. Working with somebody for free can be, I get it, like it can be annoying, but it can also be extremely beneficial. There were clients that I worked with for free at the start of my career that I still work with to this day. And obviously I'm charging them, and I started charging them a long time ago, but because I started working with them for free at the start, they've stayed loyal to me for over a decade now. And I've made way more money than I would have if I just charged them a few bucks in the beginning, because maybe they would have just seen that as just a transaction, right? But instead, I offered them something for free, and then they stuck with me for life, kind of thing. So not only is it good in that aspect, but it's also just good for you to just build experience. Because if you're not that great at what you're doing yet, and that's okay to admit that, but by working with somebody for free, you can kind of grow with them, and they won't mind if it's maybe not the best mixed song or it's not the most polished thing in the world, but you're using each other. So it's kind of a give and take situation where you can both benefit from it. Number 5, learn your DAW like the back of your hand. Now, whatever DAW you're in, it doesn't matter whether you're in Pro Tools, Studio One, Logic, Ableton, it makes no difference. Whatever DAW you're comfortable with, stick with that, but learn it to a T. Every little thing that that program can do, you should know how to do it. You should learn all the quick keys so that you can move around your keyboard very easily and quickly, because at the end of the day, time is money. If you're just sitting there with your mouse doing everything manually and maybe you've got one hand on your spacebar to hit play, but if you're not utilizing those quick keys, I'm telling you, you are slacking. Learn all those different functions, learn everything your program can provide you, because at the end of the day, the quicker you can kind of move around your DAW, the faster you'll be, and the more money that brings in at the end of the day, because like I said, time is money. So the quicker you can get things done, not that you're rushing things, but the quicker you can get things done, the more money that is in your pocket at the end of the day. So learn your DAW. Number 6, live and spend wisely when you're kind of just starting out, or you're just trying to build things up to a bigger level. And I'm not trying to give any financial advice or anything like that by any means, but I'm just saying, don't be out there spending money just recklessly when you don't have to. Earlier on in my career, when I was kind of just starting out, and sure, there was some money coming in, but there was a lot of things that I sacrificed earlier on to be at the point where I'm at today. There were certain trips that my friends were going on or family was going on. If I was in a relationship, I had to sacrifice going on trips because I didn't want to spend money on those kind of things when I knew I needed to upgrade my mic or upgrade my interface or save for a piece of gear. So keep that in mind. Just spend wisely on just everyday things and be ready to make some sacrifices, because unfortunately it is part of this business if you kind of want to take things a step further and grow. So keep that in mind. Number 8, build a brand. Build a brand for your name, for your business, whatever, your studio. Build an aesthetic, you know what I mean? Your studio has to have a certain vibe to it that people can attach themselves to, or just look at and see on a regular basis and say, I already know that's Ty's studio, or I already know that's such and such a studio, just by how it's kind of set up. Just the look of it itself, it just looks a certain way, and that's important to your brand as an engineer. And whatever that kind of aesthetic is, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is for you that you're comfortable with, that should be your thing, and you should stick to it. And I don't just mean branding as in the look of your studio, I'm talking about the way you present yourself on social media, the way you appear, what is your look of an engineer, because you are showing yourself on social media, and we're gonna get to that in a later point, but you know what I mean. So those kind of things are super important. The way that you kind of come across to potential clients, to brands that might want to work with you, all that kind of stuff, the way that you present yourself, your business, your brand, your aesthetic is all super important and should be things that you work on from the start. Number 9, learn and always learn. To this day, I am on my 12th year of business as a full-time engineer, and I am still going on YouTube pretty much every day, just learning things. I usually start my day out by having breakfast, and I'll bring my breakfast into the studio and throw on YouTube, or I'll just sit out in my living room and just throw on YouTube, and I'm looking at other engineers and what they're doing. Whether it's mixing techniques, whether it's a podcast from somebody, all those kind of things I'm learning from to this day. You can never stop learning in this business, and that's something that I love about engineering. So if you're just kind of starting out, scour YouTube, scour the internet for things that you can learn and improve your skills on. And at number 10, start working on content earlier on. This was something that I kind of grasped earlier on in my career. that the importance of content and just showing yourself and being in people's faces was super important. That's how I got a lot of my business earlier on, was from just posting things, pictures, videos of my studio, things of me, maybe at another studio if I was hired at. And it just builds, going back to like what I was just talking about your brand or your aesthetic, that kind of thing. So getting on the content game early and figuring out what your style of content is, because you're going to go through a lot of different trial and errors of creating content and seeing what works and what doesn't. But doing these things can be key to evolving your business. Now I know content can be annoying, it can be frustrating, it can be repetitive, but it is something that can benefit you right away and further down the road. Because if you start building things up and your following starts going up and you start getting a lot of eyes on you, other companies and businesses are going to recognize that as well. So maybe plugin companies will start reaching out to you, giving you free plugins or paying you to promote a new plugin that they're releasing. Gear companies could reach out to you saying, hey, we'd love to send you this piece of gear. Start building your content game right off the bat. And that's it, guys. Those are 10 things that I would recommend every engineer to start doing right away, whether you're just starting out, maybe you're a little further in your career, but just start doing it right away. Trust me, these are all things that are going to benefit you and excel your career. So drop a comment if you found any of these useful, or if you're doing some of these things already. I'd love to know. And please make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate you guys. Until next time, take care.